Right now, almost 2 years ago, Richard Bennett developed a device he called a Haygoth that can analyze the stress in somebody's voice, either directly or over the telephone, without his knowledge. This year, Mr. Bennett expects to sell over 10,000 of these devices at $1,500 a pop, as they say. Mr. Bennett, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
First of all, is this a lie detector?
No, there never has been, and there is no such thing as a lie detector. And there's a lot of legislation pending now which is aimed at lie detection, which really doesn't apply to this type of a gadget.
Well, and what does it do, and how does it work?
Well, typically, our market is businessmen who need every little indicator to make their hip-shooting entrepreneurial decisions. And this is one way that they can get an indication. A stress analyzer measures the presence of a modulation in the voice. That when it disappears, it means the individual is under stress.
Right. What uses, when you say a businessman, how would he use it?
Over the telephone, or on a tape recording, or even in person, sitting on his desk. As it turns out, when the green lights go on, there is no stress, and therefore you can be assured that the individual with whom you're talking is being very candid. When the red lights go on, that indicates stress, which doesn't indicate deception, but it indicates maybe a few probing questions are in order.
But you're implying lying, are you not? You just used the word deception. Aren't you implying lying? I mean, you can have stress without
deception.
Without deception. You can have stress without lying.
Well, you see, in a business situation, you don't care whether that stress is due to lying or any other factor. All you want to do is pinpoint it with some good questions.
Okay. We've got some examples here, and we've got some tapes that we'll play. And if you would explain as we play these what we're hearing. First, we have the late Otto Kerner. At one time, he was the governor of Illinois and a federal judge, and we have a clip of him talking before he was convicted of perjury, tax evasion, and of receiving $150,000 from the state of Illinois racing interest.
Publicly. I've never received any gift of any investment, any money, anything of any value, except from my father during his lifetime, and also from his probate estate, which is a public record.
Now, again, we'll say this is not a lie detector. What did it show just then? Could you tell?
Okay, to me, it would indicate that in the very key segment of his talk, a few more probing questions are in order. He was not totally green, and in fact, he was quite heavily stressed.
Okay, but here we're implying that he was lying, but you're saying that it was just stress there.
You want to give him the benefit of that. You want to give someone the benefit of the doubt, and this is why I'm very much against using this device in a personal situation or in employment situations. That's ridiculous.
Right, and it's unethical as well, is it not?
Yes, it is.
And you would agree with that?
I would agree with that.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Tape of H.R. Haldeman speaking after he had resigned as President Nixon's White House Chief of Staff. He was being tried. He was later convicted of 14 felonies, including obstruction of justice.
Have violated the standard of integrity that I've set for myself and that the President has set for all of us who've worked in the White House, and that includes in its totality any wrongdoing in terms of acts that may have been committed or the cover-up of acts that may have been committed.
What did you see?
I believe him implicitly. The only stressful word was when he mentioned the word acts of wrongdoing. And that would normally have stress, but everything else was well into the green areas. So he did not violate his code of integrity.
Okay, last one. We have a tape of former President Nixon, 14 months after the break-in of Watergate, still maintaining the White House was not involved. At least he said that was what he had been told by his former counsel, John Dean, and here's that tape. Coming up.
In the month of March, Mr. Dean insisted that there was not, and I use his words, a scintilla of evidence indicating that anyone on the White House staff was involved in the planning of the Watergate break-in.
What'd you read?
I was surprised. The President did a very good job with that. It's fun to kick around Mr. Nixon, but he showed very little stress on the key points.
As we said, the stress can be shown without someone deceiving or lying. At the same time, someone might show stress when they're, just nervous or something. What about you? How would your voice read now if I said to you, I'll move the, oh wait, I have to leave it there. Mr. Bennett?
They want to get that on the machine too.
Right. Yeah. Mr. Bennett, Do you have any personal questions about this gadget being unethical and about your putting it on the market where it could be used in an unethical manner?
No, I don't. It would be like a doorknob salesman feeling it was unethical to sell shiny doorknobs because someone might use them to tell fortunes. They're used to open doors, and this is used in very specific business situations I've designed. If someone wants to misuse it, he's a fool.
And we hope that nobody misuses it. Ms. Bennett, thank you.
Thank you.
Interesting guy you got there. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes after these words from Tupperware.